Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song Oldies Station from 21 Pilots and their 2024 album Clancy. I'm musically malnourished and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics, the meaning, and the lore behind the music. So let's get in, see what's going on here. All right, Oldies Station, 11th track. It's about getting older and feeling your eyes adjust to life and also depression and how you need to let it roll off your back and persevere. Tyler said several times this song was for the fans. In the Clancy premiere live stream, which we will get to over on Patreon at some point, I felt like you guys deserve to know how I'm doing and maybe how I got here through my journey. And I just want to say thank you guys, and I was thinking of you when I wrote this. Oh, Tyler. Also, during the debut show in Columbus, Ohio, Tyler stated, so Midwest Indigo, I wrote about Ohio. The Craving, I wrote about my wife. And Oldie Station, I wrote about you. Points to the crowd. So Paul Meany had a video on a look at the production for the song. There are some live performances. We'll get to those on Patreon. And then the music video is already over on Patreon. Let's get up into this. Okay, only consistency in your periphery is fear and the bridge of your nose. And as you move about, you learn to tune them out. But they say they continue to grow. I love this. So the idea is like the only thing that feels consistent in the periphery, kind of just existing, always there, is fear, and insert for yourself whatever that thing could be that kind of just exists and always feels like it's around you, like, gosh, I wish you'd go away. So the only thing you see is that, and then the bridge of your nose, that's always present as well. And almost kind of stating like, as obvious as your nose is there, so are these things. And as you move about, though, you learn to tune them out. So again, I think what's so strong about the message of this song, especially as it gets into this idea of pushing through, is that these things are present. Right? They don't just go away. Fear, depression, maybe these draws toward addiction or anger or whatever it is, for yourself that you find you deal with the most, selfishness, as you move about. And I think the idea too is about time, about growing older as well. So as you move about in life, but also as you move about through this journey of life, you just learn to tune them out. You tune into a different frequency almost. But they say they continue to grow. Fear of the past and relative pain. I'm curious about this because the way they sing relative pain, they really bring an emphasis to it. And there are mentions in the song, obviously, and even through the album, of losing people. And then we know that Tyler had lost his grandfather, not in recent past. And so even the pain that can come from relatives or relationships. And so I think it is speaking obviously to relative pain, because that's what you learn as you grow older. The things that used to crush you in your past, it's relative. Same thing with weightlifting, right? So 100 pounds is not as much as if you've been lifting 100 pounds for a year. Now 100 pounds isn't what 100 pounds used to be. So as we grow, as we learn, as we become stronger, and that's part of being exposed to difficult situations, that hopefully we can glean things from those seasons of life and carry forward to help us and to be stronger and to increase our capacity as we learn and as we grow. And so I think it is this relative pain, but also relative pain. Future's coming fast. You've got nothing in the tank. This suggests the person is haunted by past experiences and the pain associated with them. The term relative pain indicates this pain is significant when compared to other experiences. The future is approaching quickly, but the person feels drained and unprepared to face it, lacking the necessary energy or resources in the tank. Okay. I mean, I can see this indicates it's significant, but I think it's also just painting the picture that the pain is relative, so it may be more intense or it, compared to past stuff, or it may be not as intense. But the future's coming fast. You've got nothing in the tank. That's the feeling, right? Because he resolves this line later in the song, but you feel like you've got nothing in the tank. I got no more to give. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. It's like when you're running out of gas, and you're like, I hope I can get to a gas station. In a season of purging things you used to love, everything must go. That's interesting. Oh, this is interesting. Sorry, I said interesting too many times. Could be a reference to Matthew 6. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moth and rust do not destroy, where thieves do not break in and steal. For wherever your treasure is, there your heart will be also. In a season of purging things you used to love, everything must go. I don't think he's talking about necessarily good things here, but maybe there are things in our life that we did love, and those could be negative things at times as well. Seasons where you felt comfortable, something that you love, even though it's not good for you, but it's time to purge that, to let it go. And I know as well through conversations with you guys on the channel and just through learning and growing that we can build this unhealthy dependency on our issues, that some people find depression more familiar, and it's the fear of like letting go of that, which can seem, for some people on the outside looking in, easy. Like, why in the world would you want to hold on to that? But it's like, if it's what you've known and it feels comfortable to you, it's easy to like love the thing that you also hate. And so this season of purging things you used to love, it's like everything must go. You got to just let it go. And that can be a very difficult thing. Make an oath, then make mistakes. Start a streak you're bound to break. When darkness rolls on you, push on through. I just love this. And I don't think he's saying like, don't be a person of your word, but just know like, do everything in your power to stick to the things you say, but you will make mistakes. And so the fear or the tendency might be to not make the oath, to not make the commitment. But he's like, no, make the commitment. Then work hard to uphold that commitment, but know you will make mistakes. Start a streak. Yeah, you're bound to break it, but start it anyways. You might surprise yourself. And when darkness rolls on you, push on through. Then, before you know, you lose some people close. So it's kind of like, yeah, the difficulty, the pain might keep coming. But it forces you to manage your pace. You found your capacity for love and tragedy, embracing how things always change. That's why I'm saying this is such a hopeful song. Because yeah, you'll push on through, then before you know, you'll lose some people close, and it will force you to make some adjustments, manage your pace, adjust some things in your life. And you found this capacity for love and tragedy to exist together, and then you begin to embrace how things change. You become comfortable in change, not comfortable in stagnation and sitting still and being in a comfort zone, but you become more comfortable with things changing and moving. It's to the idea that you talk to some people that are just able to be very fluid with things, They don't really let things crush them when you're like, how in the world are you doing this? Or how do you not let that bother you? And it's just like, I don't know. I've managed my pace and I've embraced that things change, and I've learned to not just let it crush me and cripple me where it has in seasons past, but you learn and you grow from that. You've had your turn with relative pain, little less concerned when there's nothing in the tank. So that's, again, if you want to go with the gas analogy, um, if you've learned the capacity of your fuel tank and your gas light comes on, but you know, like, oh, I've got 50 more miles to go, the gas light might come on and somebody's like, hey, aren't you concerned about that? And it's like, no, I 100% I'm going to be able to make it. And I think that's the recognition, is that as you've grown in your capacity and you've learned these things as you've moved through life, and you feel like, man, I don't know that I have enough, you at least have enough knowledge of past events to know I'm not as concerned. I'll adjust my pace and I'll make it through. In a season of lessons learned in giving up, you learn what you can and can't take. There's so much wisdom in this song. Add some years, build some trust. You start to feel your eyes adjust in this darkness, right? Because that's the whole idea, that when you enter darkness, you can't see anything if you've come out of light. But if you're there, your eyes begin to adjust and you can see things a little more clearly. And so I keep saying again, carrying on this analogy is just when you enter those seasons, when the tank feels low and darkness rolls in on you, you feel your eyes begin to adjust and you can tackle it differently than maybe in the past. You can push on through. You don't quite mind how long red lights are taken. Your favorite song was on the Oldies station. So it's almost this picture of times of waiting in life, times where you want to be very impatient, but instead, like that person who doesn't let it cripple or crush them, in the moment, they find a joy where love and tragedy are existing. And they're like, well, my favorite song's on, and that's the kind of person I want to be. You have it down, that old fight for survival. You're in the crowd at her first dance recital. I wonder if this is saying this idea of like not letting it get to you so bad because you still made it. Because if you're stuck at a red light, like freaking out, am I going to get there? It's kind of here it's saying, no, you got there. Okay? Like, calm down. Let's see. Even though darkness rolls on him, he's looking at the good things in life, like how his daughter is in a dance recital and Tyler attends. And so, yeah, it could be that too. This is just another word picture. Red light taking a long time, but your favorite song is on. You're in a fight for survival, but the same as if your favorite song was on. Like, look at this beautiful thing that's happening in life, this thing that you can enjoy in the middle of this season. I think both of those work. Well, there it is. Man, I've said it a million times. Love this. I think it's such a beautiful song. There's so much wisdom in it. This beauty of growing older and growing better. And that's my prayer and my hope for you and for myself, that can be our experience in this life. Let love and tragedy exist together. Push through. Your capacity is growing, and recognize that in the darkest, hardest seasons of life. It doesn't feel like it at the time, but you will grow your capacity. You will learn this idea of darkness rolling on you and your eyes adjusting, and you can push through. Thanks for being with me for this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.